dropped my little man off at school. Now I'm driving to the park. A little bit later than I normally do my show because I had to get him off. It's gonna be a warm day, 102 here today, but we do have some clouds, so hopefully the sun will be retreating a bit. It's supposed to cool down to the 90s starting this weekend and extending through to the week, which will be nice. All right, well, I'm seeing people trickling in here. Yeah, you have to stop. Some of these drivers, they just don't want to wait a second. It's like you're driving your kid to school or to work. Shouldn't be that much of a hurry. Good morning. Good morning. Seeing everyone getting in here, seeing your guys' your comments. See, and the G. I won't be because I can't see all your guys' comments. I probably won't be able to read all of you, so forgive me. That's crazy about John Bolton's house getting raided. I wonder if that's a little bit of payback because they did it to Roger Stone. Yankee Bill, good morning. See you there. I think that lady that was so impatient, she's riding my ass. I think she's going to the middle school because I did see there was a kid in the car, but they're not late yet. No need to be rushing. Man, lots of cars out on the road this morning. Our sleepy little desert town is wide awake. And they're all driving like a-holes. Had a truck just pull out in front of another truck, almost witnessed an accident. I'll be glad to turn and get the sun out of my face. Oh, I'm driving. I can say that for the others. I car. If they're so far up my ass, I can taste real crap. All right. Now they can all go around. Oh my God. I move over because I'm turning so that they can go around and they slow down with me. It's like you can go around me. That's why I moved over. California drivers. Okay. Pull into a spot here and then I'll be able to see everybody what they're saying. There we go. Georgie says, I'm being blamed for all 32 visits in the CPS case to Lynette. I thought it was me. I thought it was Jeremy. They they just don't know. We do know it was Lynette's own daughter who called. Someone got all pissy and us throwing a hissy fit. They've been really crazy. Come on, there we go. Yeah, that's Lynette. She has a situation where people are going to call CPS. You would not surprise me if 32 different people called CPS. Would not be shocked at all. Who's blaming you? Is it Felisa? I am going to turn off my Bluetooth. Yep. And see. How's that? Is that better? They're also blaming someone who works for CPS. That just shows you they don't have a clue. They can't settle on it. Like like they're just taking public stabbings in the dark. It's Lisa and John Cook. Oh, John Cook is not smart. That guy, he is he is one of the dumbest people I think I've ever met, and I've had some interaction with him, but he likes to threaten women. In fact, I dealt with that with another guy today, and so okay, you don't threaten Skipper's friends. Okay, you want Skipper's wrath? Don't coming after me is not going to bother me. Coming after my friends. So a guy came after one of my friends, and it's another situation where it's a guy going after a woman. I don't understand these dudes who just do shit like that. Hi, Enrique. I don't speak Spanish, so I'm sorry. I don't know what you're saying. Um, but yeah, like it's these dudes who go after women, which just tells me they're weak men. Like I won't go after a woman unless she comes after me. Like, and even then, it's you're finding you're getting what you're bringing to me. John needs to wash his greasy ass before talking to me, right? He is, yeah, he's a scumbag. But yeah, you see these dudes who like dudes like him who just straight go after women. Like that's exactly what he does, and that just shows you he's a weak man. Um, like because that's like what women do. Women will go after people that they know they can bully. Uh, Men, for the most part, men do not. You know, like there are those men who, some men out there want to show how strong they are, and they'll go after men who are bigger and stronger. Because they want to prove that they're better than them. It's a machismo thing. But then you get those guys who they know they can't do that, so then they focus on women. And that's just weak. That's just weak. Skipper hates bullies. So this guy went after a friend of mine, and I sent him he claims to be a veteran. He could be, he might not be. I don't know. But I sent him an invitation to the Veteran Nation group. And if he comes in there, I'm going to confront him and be like, why are you saying this shit to women online? But yeah, these dudes who, like, picking on women doesn't make you tough. It makes you look like a loser. Do these dudes not know that? And John Cook, big one. He likes to send threats to women in DM. He won't even do it publicly. If she can keep him under control, he must be extremely weak. Well, the thing is, like, It's not a matter of her keeping him under control. He's an idiot. So all she does is point out to him where he's stupid, and he then comes to the realization, and then he backs down. Hey, AVA, I've one of these days I think I might try to get to Florida for one of the hearings when we get to that point. And yeah, it'll be. I guarantee you, John's one of those guys who won't say a thing. He will not say a thing. Yeah, everybody hit the like. Hey, vet firefighters in here. Um, yeah, I guarantee you, John. If I show up to one of those things, John Cook will not say a word to me. I think Bruce would, because Bruce is a different animal. He wants that interaction, and he's dumb enough to think that he can be so sneaky to get me to lose my cool. And if you guys saw the video of me being attacked, I think you guys can see Skipper doesn't lose his cool until it's time to lose my cool. We have a hearing coming up for the Levy County cases. What date is that? I did see that. Yeah, again, all their delay tactics. All they do is just delay it. It doesn't stop it. It's not going to end it. I'm still laughing about Felisa. Oh, he's in other court cases. Yeah. Um, Lips brought that case. He didn't bring that case. He wanted nothing to do with Lips. So he brought a countersuit, but again, because she was breaking the law. Skipper looks exhausted. I actually slept in a little bit today because I knew I wasn't getting up to do the show. My only challenge was going to be to wake up the young man and get him into the shower, but he normally wakes up pretty well. Like he wakes up. Glory likes going in and getting him awake, and yeah, same as today. Like we woke him up in less than 5 minutes. He was in the shower, getting ready. Um, I was doing my thing to clean up the house before I leave. Oh, thank you, Tran. But yeah, so I've got it pretty easy. Yeah, my son, he does what he's supposed to. Picked him up yesterday, dropped him off at the house. I went and finished up some stuff that I was working on and got back, and he had already done his homework and all that stuff. And I was like, okay. He was playing his video games and was like, I bought this and I'm going to buy this. What do you think? Yeah, spend your money on your video games. Enjoy it while you can. When you're an adult, got to spend your money on stuff you don't want to spend it on. Next week, uh, David Button thinks this is boring. That's okay. Um, Hi, Robert, Mr. Ladies Man. I don't know about that. Next week, Skipper will be broadcasting on the road. I will not be at home next week. I will be I will be at a conference, but you guys will get Skipper live from the hotel room. Hiya, Harry. Whenever I see someone named Harry, I wish my name were Lloyd for Dumb and Dumber.
watching all the old people. We've got to walk our laps around the park. That's next. My next puppet thing. Uh, I found the voice for Gay Bone Crusher. Ah, I'm in my garage. Ah. Finally taking that special tour of Thailand. Not this year. Not this year. I do want to get to Southeast Asia. Closest I've been is Dubai, and I want to go to Kenny Rogers. So Kenny Rogers Roasters used to be a chain here in the U.S. and it failed. But when it was doing well, they sold the rights to a Malaysian billionaire. And now the only way you can have Kenny Rogers is if you go overseas to Southeast Asia. Watching them all chasing that sideways taco. But yeah, so I want to go to Kenny Rogers Roasters. I want to try to get to as many Kenny Rogers Roasters as I can, and I will take pictures. Like I want to get a Kenny Rogers Roasters fan club T-shirt. Me and a buddy, we actually started kind of like this Kenny Rogers Roasters fan club thing. Nancy's not old, but Gay Bone Crusher is old. I'm not allowed to leave the garage. I might soil the couch. So, but for me to do a character, I have to kind of first come up with the mannerisms and the voice. And I think I got Gay Bone Crusher's mannerisms and voice. Trouble chases you, TC. Hey, Native. Good to have you here. What's funny about that? All these women want to be chased nowadays. They're like, oh, I want a guy to chase me. Skipper, don't chase. I'm too old. I'm done. My days of chasing are done. There's a woman jogging. When she gets up and passes me, should I roll down the window and yell, fuck you? Firefighters chase Stacy, right? Right? That's one thing. Like when I go to Vegas and then I go out for breakfast in the morning, there's people jogging down the strip. I just want to be like, fuck you. Go fuck yourself. Look at you out here trying to be all healthy. I d- so I'm in a couple Vegas groups, and I saw one where it's a woman. She's like leaning. She's sitting in a slot machine. She's like passed out, leaning over to the side, and someone they all the comments and someone said, "I guarantee you, she posted on Instagram before she came here. Vegas ain't ready for me." Vegas ain't ready for me, right? I know I'm talking a lot of shit about the cruise, but yeah, um, I will. I can tell you, I'll spend a lot of time in the hot tub, and I will spend a lot of time drinking on and probably laying on a couch. STFU Juice Slave. So I'm the Juice Slave. All right. Yeah, can I get some big titty Jew girl, and I'll be her goy toy? I'm a good Catholic boy, so I want what a good Catholic boy always wants: a big titty Jewish girl. Those Jewish girls, they got some big fucking tits. You know, I'll tell you the other group that like girls with big boobs is Persians, Iranian girls. Oh my god, like they got huge ones. I'm not CS. Yeah, you got me pegged there. I'm not into pegging, but you got me picked. Where has this discussion taken us? You got quite the schnoz, bro. Well, I'm not Jewish. I am Catholic, but I do want a nose job because, as you can see, my nose is a little bit crooked. Who on earth says something like that? Apparently, I got some crazy fans, TC. But CS is allowed here. He can say all he wants about me. Not gonna bother me. I actually find it pretty funny that this is where it went. I love it when people don't understand my sense of humor. She meant sense. I hate the YouTube autocorrect. It is so bad. Um, but yeah, like Jewish girls are pretty good looking, I will say. I'm not on board with the whole killing baby shit, but I am on board with the 0% interest. I saw a meme. It was my girlfriend asked, "Where's my bra pad?" It was the guy had it on his head, and he's like, "Me off to the bank to get a 0% interest loan." And the audio was Hava Nagila. I was dying laughing. Oh my god! And people are gonna get mad at that joke. That's just a stupid funny joke. It's stupid. But some people, according to some people, you're my boy toy. Yeah, we're having an affair. Uh, apparently across the country. These are the same people that post my address, or at least attempt to, because they always screw that up. Like they know what city I'm in, but like they've posted my old address, they've posted my neighbor's address. Only one person actually posted my correct address, and of course, I'm smart enough not to engage with it. I'm looking at the time. I'm gonna have to get going here soon. Hold on, I'm gonna text someone real quick. There we go. Yeah, some people are just dumb. Some people are just dumb, but that's okay. You have the right to be stupid in this country, and some people absolutely take advantage of that right. More than a handful is a waste, they say. Well, I do not envy those people. Daddy Skipper is secretly my pet. TC says big breasts are nasty. Okay, boot him, kick him out. TC, step into my office because you're fucking fired. Oh. What was that guy? David Allen Greer used to play him on In Living Color. I want me a woman with big, big, big breasts. I'm a boob guy. I like them whatever size they are. We should TC, we should bring back the old Opie and Anthony, the Whip 'em Out Wednesday. Whip 'em Out Wednesday was an Opie and Anthony radio gag where you'd put a wow sticker for Whip 'em Out Wednesday on your car, and women on Wednesdays were supposed to flash you and make your Wednesday better. And so yeah, they would do Whip 'em Out Wednesday, and it was a great radio promotion. They would sell bumper stickers, and you were supposed to, if you got wowed, you had to call in, and you can't fire me. And what was funny is there's actually a clip of a woman who flashed on the Today Show. You know how the Today Show used to like have all the people. Well, they still might. I haven't watched the Today Show in years, but they would show all the people and they would take the camera across. Well, this woman she was there in a coat, and as they're like panning across, she just opens up and like there they are, and she had, I believe, "Wow" written across her chest. And what was funny is Katie Couric was in the corner, and she's like, "Oh my god," and like looking off camera, like, "Did you see that?" If I had Opie and Anthony money, I would do what they did, which was and you can watch on YouTube. There's some funny videos. Opie and Anthony assault on the media. They were given money, like they were given like uh, what's it? They were given money for a Times Square billboard to promote the radio show. But instead, they said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get as much free promotion as possible. We're going to do an assault on the media contest. And what they told people to do was, if you see the news out, like doing their thing, and you interrupt it with Opie and Anthony signs or screaming Opie and Anthony names, you'll be entered in the contest to win like $500,000. And the videos that came out of that, they're on YouTube. They are hilarious. It's just these people just like people were following around reporters in New York City and Boston and Detroit and Philly. And then as soon as they'd go live, these guys would run up and be like, and they got a couple reporters fired. How Opie and Anthony did not get sued, I don't know. But they didn't. That was when it wasn't Sirius XM, it was just XM. And XM was willing to take risks. Sirius XM, they don't take any risk. It's bland rental car radio. That's what it is. Tune in Sunday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Absolutely. We will be live. Uh, oh, I did my laps yesterday, and my triceps are what's sore. I got to keep stretching them. But the good thing about me swimming laps is I'm not getting injured. That's the problem. I can't. There's certain things I can't do because I'll just get re-injured. Oh, it's 7:30. Skipper's gonna have to keep going. Okay, got all my shit. Have you guys seen the creepy video um, of Stephen Colbert with the kid singing "Somebody I Used to Know"? It's pretty creepy. Be my damn luck. I would love to have a sticker on my car. It'd be Lisa driving by a flash. Ooh, make me want to puke. You know what's funny is people would call into the radio show, and there were cases of that, and they were like, "Okay, can you describe?" And they'd be like, "Like a saggy mess." Okay, I remember a guy goes, "Have you ever put pancakes on a skillet and then turned the skillet sideways and watched it run down?" I need to do a PBT before I drive. What's a PBT? Ready for the cruise. February needs to hurry up. Right, right. We were talking again. Do you know? Okay, so on the last cruise I went on, there was an ice cream station, and I was looking to see if they had one, and I was really bummed because they don't. But I found out from a friend of mine that she was like, "Oh, Carnival's got them. Every place where they have like the buffet, the burrito bar, all the places where the food is free, they have an ice cream station with all the toppings and everything." I am gonna be such a fat kid. Like I'm gonna need me and Brett. We were talking about going to the fitness center. I'm gonna have to on that trip. I'm gonna be, if not, I'm gonna become back so fat. That's the thing. Like people are like, "Oh, I can't afford it." Cruises for me, a preliminary breath test. I'm drinking my coffee. I'm not drunk. It's like Dave Landau. He talks about he had something like 8 DUIs before he turned uh, 21. Just constantly wrecking, getting drunk and wrecking cars as a teenager. And he met his now wife, and he's like, she asked me to drive her mom, and he goes, this was right as I got sober. He asked me to drive. She asked me to drive her mom to the airport, the Detroit airport, and I pick her up in the morning. And she's like, "Oh, thank you, David, for doing this. You're just such a good boy." And I'm like, "Okay." And I start blowing into the thing to start the car, and she's like, "Oh, what's that?" He goes, "Oh, this starts the car." And she's like, "Oh, well, my car just uses keys." I had no clue. Remember, you had to have those things installed, and you'd have to blow it. I never had those. I knew a couple people who did. I never had. And then in Ohio, we had party plates. Party plates are license plates. You get a DUI, you get orange license plates, and the cops can pull you over whenever they want for no reason if you have those plates. So there's a lot of people who, when they get DUIs, they'll take anything that they give, but they'll fight to not have those plates put on. Um, but yeah, those plates, they can pull you over. And just check, make you like pull you over and just give you a breathalyzer. Um, I know a lot of people are against it. I'm actually okay with that because DUIs are a very serious thing. Uh, Now I'm against red light cameras. Like I will fight against red light cameras every single day because those don't actually make anyone safer. They're just a scheme to make money. Should I bring you guys with me? I gotta get going into work. Should I bring you guys with me? Let me check something real quick. Okay, good there. I got my little hands-free device so we can still keep it talking. You guys will see me as I come onto the base. Um, so it was those places were they were challenged under the Fourth Amendment, but the Ohio Supreme Court ruled that um, because driving is a privilege, because you need and you're using government roads to do it, and you are required to be licensed. uh, you it was okay, well, you don't have to have this privilege, but if you're going to continue, yeah, they could make you take the party plates, and because you've already pled guilty and or been found guilty, they could do that, much like a probation tracking monitor is what they that's what they compared it to. So I'm not necessarily opposed to it. um, I go back to don't get a DUI. You know, that's the only way they can put it to you is if you plead guilty to a DUI or are found guilty of a DUI, and it's only you. There's a certain time frame that you can have it. So I think it would survive a Supreme Court challenge. Ohio Supreme Court challenge it survived, but I think it would survive a U.S. Supreme Court challenge if brought, just because it's limited in scope. It's not, they're not doing it to everybody type of thing. Um, well, that's why it was, because they don't apply it to average drivers. So that's why I believe it is considered constitutional, because it's only those who have abused the privilege of driving. I always like this house that I'm driving by. Someone bought it. I was looking at it to buy it to renovate, and someone bought it, and I think they were thinking the same thing. And I think it might have been too much, because after a while, that house, it went back up on the market. Now, since I'm going to take you guys with me on the drive, you'll probably experience how bad the roads are on the base. I don't get it. The base used to do such a good job keeping all of its stuff nice, and they were constantly working on stuff they could, based on any traffic infraction. Well, the Ohio law is only for DUIs, so it is limited in scope to that. And I'm going 45, and it's not fast enough for this guy who's passing me doing at least 60. But yeah, the like this is a nice road. Like, everything about this road is nice. Once I get on base, it's nothing but potholes, and the government has more than enough money to fix them. It's very frustrating. Just shows how the last several years they've just neglected stuff. And that's why the DoD is doing things like its hiring freeze, because you know they they've abused. They get all this funding, and they don't fix their stuff. I was literally told by several people they don't maintain their buildings because it's just easier to go to Congress and ask for money for a new building. How sad is that? Coop had to listen to nutbags. Good morning, Coop. It's not about the law now. The door, it opens. Um, I understand what you're saying. Um, yeah, I think if they expand it will then cross over into unconstitutionality. Yeah, there's a couple bases that are closed near here that I'm shocked no developers or anything didn't buy them. But then again, a part of me is not shocked. I'm like, well, they probably went in and looked and said, yeah, this uh, these buildings haven't been maintained. State Department halts work visas for commercial truck drivers. That headline just came across. Good, good. I don't know why. Like, why are we allowing work visas for truck drivers? Like, I understand people saying, oh, well, there's those jobs Americans don't want to do. Americans want to be truck drivers. There's plenty of them. My dad was a truck driver. I got friends who are truck drivers. Okay, asshole, get your Honda Civic moving. Every gun control law started with small infringement that people argued were reasonable. Um, Actually, most gun control laws are traced back to the Civil War. It was about disarming the freed black slaves. That's where most gun control comes from. Prior to that, there was minimal gun control. There was some, like, you couldn't carry a gun into a polling place or a courtroom. Those were gun laws that have been around since the founding. There were also those that said, no slaves or Indians could carry. Those were uh, the very early at the founding gun control. And at that point, those individuals uh, were not considered citizens then, and that's why. But yeah, almost every gun control law that sprang up after the founding, almost all of them came in the late 1860s. And that's why gun control advocates, when they talk about the text, history, and tradition, they're always talking about Civil War. Well, Civil War was not the time of the founding. There, those laws were based out of racism. Uh, I did a good interview before you came on the show with Jessica Helbinski. She is a gun historian, and and I do want to get her back on. Um, yeah, she was a great one, a great interview. She's one of those who gets um, brought into court cases as an expert. I may break up for you guys just because of where we're at. That I don't get the greatest service at this point. Good morning, sir. Have a good Friday. Thank you. Take care. Well, I don't think people consider the the post Civil War gun laws. I don't think people think they're reasonable. I think they were just solely racist. But I mean, the Supreme Court has said to some extent racism can exist. For instance, that they have said that the Chinese Exclusionment Act was constitutional, primarily because the Chinese Exclusionment Act said if you were a citizen of China under the Emperor of China, there were rights that they could restrict. So when you talk about these illegals, um, or I mean immigrants in general, you can restrict their rights in the United States legally. Some people claim it's racism. Some people say no, that's just based upon where they are coming from and where their citizenship lies. So it's a good debate. Yep, hitting all these bumps. Can you guys hear it, or is the camera shaking enough that all these potholes? It's so sad. I've watched this base just deteriorate and just get so shitty. And what's sad is this base is the only one in the Marine Corps I know of that's growing. And you'd think they'd be putting money here, but they're not. They can't main. They're growing and they can't maintain what they have. You'd think they want to support their troops, keeping the bases up. Time of the Civil War, the average populace were accepting of that treatment of blacks. Yeah, there was a belief that they were inferior, but there was also they were scared. They were scared of an uprising. Um, yeah, they like to talk a big thing about improving morale and doing all these things, but really they they'll do something that's like a quick fix, but it doesn't fix it. I made a They were talking about the base and something that the base was doing, and I made a post. I said, "Well, I'd like to, oh, gotta avoid another pothole. I'd like to do that, but my car doesn't have all-wheel drive, and I don't know if it would survive the potholes. Like if this is the main road on base, and it's nothing but potholes. If it were side roads, I'd be like, okay, well, it's a side road. juggling 10 different things today. Well, you weren't here. We were talking about jugs earlier. uh, what was it they claimed I was? I was a Jew slave? Is that what that guy came in and called me? Uh, Jew slave. That's funny. Yep. Pothole, 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 pothole. Another one. There's another one. Like, this is ridiculous. And then, the worst part about this base is Lake Bandini. Anyone who's ever been here will tell you about Bandini. It's it's they don't have a treatment facility, so all of the wastewater goes into these ponds, these evaporative ponds, where that's how they separate the waste, and then they do reclama water, where the water, it's not reverse osmosis, but it's similar to where I think it's like a condensation type of thing, where then the water you take all the poopy water and you take the poop out of it, and now you get the clean water and you reuse it. But they've just expanded every year. They just keep adding on to Lake Bandini so they can deal with more water. They're now finally starting to create a treatment plant, but they can't get anyone to run it. And again, it's going to break and not work in a couple years because again, they don't. They don't maintain what they have, so it's just going to be another waste project. But they just keep making that bigger, and the thing is, like, it's literally on the windward side of base. So if you're on base, you will smell it. You will smell poop all day long, and they just keep making that bigger, and they won't fix other stuff. And it's like, yeah, of course, no one wants to be here. It's hot. It smells like shit. Your roads suck. And the thing is, like, it used to, when Bandini was smaller, there were days where you wouldn't smell it. The wind would be blowing the other way. Yeah, it is gross. It is gross. But here, I don't like grabbing my phone while I drive. But here, look. See the lake over there? That's Lake Bandini. That water, that's poopy water. Look how big it is. It goes all the way over here. And they just keep making it bigger. And what's funny is, like, they're like, well, we need this for the water. This town has plenty of water. They could buy water from the city or from the district. They won't because they would much rather blow the money on their little pet projects. They spent millions to build a new facility for fourth tanks. And I'm not joking. The year after it was finished, what did the Marine Corps do? It got rid of all tanks. All tanks. That's your government. That is fraud, waste, and abuse. That that commandant that did that, he was an idiot, and he used to be the commander of this base. He was an idiot. He was not a good. We had a string of like 4 or 5 shitty commandants of the Marine Corps, and I wish it could say it's gotten better, but I'll say this: it hasn't gotten worse. Which is, oh, another pothole. So yeah, it hasn't gotten worse. And here's the thing about these potholes. You can't say it's because of tanks, because now we don't have tanks. And for the tracked vehicles, we have the tank trail. Like, it parallels this road. So they're not on this road. Right, Jim? That's your tax money that gets wasted. All right, folks. I get into work at about 8 most mornings. It's almost there, and I'm almost to work. Uh, So I'll get into the office here in just a few minutes, but I'm gonna have to let you guys go. But Coop and Georgie are gonna be live soon. So you guys will be able to tune in and watch them. Follow Georgie's Life Uncensored and Coop. I think they're on. You guys are on Coopy's channel today, right? String of shitty commandants equals Lake Bandini. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And this water treatment plant they're building, it's just going to be a nut roll. They have a cogen facility, okay? It's got these big turbines where it takes the gases and stuff that the base creates and it turns it into electricity. And they built it probably 15 years ago, back when California was having rolling blackouts. And they were like, oh, we can't have rolling blackouts. So they spent millions of dollars. Only one of the turbines there works today. If we were to have a rolling blackout, this base would be without power. And it's because no one maintains the infrastructure. All right, guys, I'm here at the office. I'm heading inside. Thank you for joining me. And as always, thank you for